All right, light up those pumpkins, everybody, because we are live. Let's see who else is awake and alive out there tonight. All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to tonight's special live event here on the Halloween Daily News channel as we are celebrating 10 years of existence. It was on this day back in 2012. Remember a decade ago what life was like back on September 22nd, 2012? Well, believe it or not, every day before then, there was no such thing as Halloween Daily News. Not until September 22nd, 2012, when we published the very first article on HalloweenDailyNews.com 10 years ago today. So we are here. We are celebrating tonight. Thank you for joining me. And as always, we've got some news to talk about. Because we got our hands on the officially licensed Halloween Ends Michael Myers mask. And I filmed a little unboxing just a little bit ago and some showcase video. And we're going to premiere that here in just a couple minutes. And then I've got one of the masks right here that we're going to take a look at. But I want you to see it how I first saw it in the unboxing first. And then we'll talk about it here live. And then we're going to do some other interesting things. We're going to have some flashback moments, take a little ride back through the last decade of Halloween Daily, look at some of the more notable interviews we've conducted and events we've attended, and then there might be another couple surprises along the way, including another video premiere later on in tonight's program, where we're going to premiere some brand new, never before seen footage from our archives of the H4O 40 Years of Terror Halloween Movies franchise reunion event in South Pasadena back in 2018. We've published tons of photos from the event, and we have published lots of video content from that event, but not this particular video content that you're going to see later on tonight. So stick around for all that. If you're new here, my name is Matt. We are Halloween Daily News. We've been HalloweenDailyNews.com for 10 years as of today. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Think about subscribing. And to all of our returning friends, what is up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Like I said, the regular viewers knew that we were going to be doing something to mark the occasion. We didn't really know what. It kind of crept up on us like a stalker in the night, right? It was here before we knew it. And so here we are. So we're gonna do it up tonight. So I'm gonna turn over here to the live chat. I've already seen a couple familiar names checking in. Let's see, our good friends ProtectSafes.com is here. Yolanda is here. Says happy anniversary. Thank you so much. T. Christine is checked in. What's up? Thank you for being here. Lee Bowers is here. Thank you so much. Change in the runtime. Yes, apparently that 2-hour runtime was not accurate that we reported on. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Let's see. Rigor Mortis Horror says, congratulations on the 10, man. Thank you so much. Keith says, HDN rules. I love it. Thank you. Keith also says, one of our most reliable viewers. I appreciate your comments, sir. He says, super reliable content. Matt loves Michael Myers and Dimebag Darrell. Can't beat that. That is true. I love both of them dearly. And I agree, you can't beat that. Michael Myers in here with some silence. Can't beat that. Our buddy Chad Francis is here. Tim Leal, who has purchased one of our masks, which are shipping out tomorrow. I apologize for the delay, but I think you're going to like what you're getting, buddy. Patrick Ring is here. I'm sure you've probably already got your mask or two. I have no doubt. Thank you for being here, Patrick. One of our channel members. Think about joining, just $5 a month. Let's see. Who else has checked in here? Grave Jacker is here. Orlin is here. And, of course, Megan is here. All in the great Mitchell Kindly checking in, another one of our channel members a little bit earlier. All right. Again, I don't expect a huge crowd tonight because it's not a ton of breaking news. Hardy Verse has checked in as well. But like I said, we're mainly just kind of hanging out for a little while and not going to relive some past moments. But regular viewers know that today is a big day. Not only is it our 10th anniversary, not only does the calendar say it's the first day of fall, but this was the day that we finally received the officially licensed Halloween Ends Michael Myers masks. Our shipment, our first shipment, I should say, from Trick or Treat Studios. This is not our entire shipment. We ordered a whole bunch of masks. Usually they all come at once. We were notified weeks ago that we were going to get a third of our total order this past week, which turned into this week, and we're going to get the rest, the other 2/3, in October. So stay tuned for when they arrive. We listed the new mask on our website, HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop, along with all the other items we have in stock, starting at 3:01 p.m. this past Thursday, September 15th, and we didn't even hit the share button. We didn't even let any of our subscribers or anybody know that it was up, but you guys are so on top of it. You guys are so in tune to what we're doing. You bought us out anyway. We are completely sold out. We were sold out within less than 2 hours before we ever even shared the link. So to those of you that made those purchases, thank you. And again, we apologize again for the 1 week delay. But all of your orders will be going in the mail tomorrow, kicking off year number 11, right? What a way to kick it off, with all of your orders and all of our sellout products going out right away. And again, stay tuned, because we should be getting more in the next 2 weeks or so, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And then we're going to have more up online and available to purchase as well. All right, so what we're going to do here in just a minute is I'm going to go ahead and play a bit of pre-recorded video, and I shot this literally just like 2 hours ago. I mean, the mask, it is 8:46 p.m. here, and I think the package arrived maybe around 6:30, maybe. It was not too long ago that this package arrived, and so I ran upstairs and I set up a little tripod and a table in our showcase room, and we did a quick unboxing. And this is very similar to what I did last year for the HK mask, where it's, well, you'll see in the video, but basically the first mask right off the top of the box was the one that I picked up and kind of showcased in the showcase video you'll see. So this isn't very long. It's probably around 10 minutes or so. But this is my unboxing first look, and then it will go into a showcase and a bit of my initial thoughts on the mask, having this first look at this very first one that I've seen in person. I've seen the photos Trick or Treat has put online. I've seen photos that other people who have received theirs or have found masks at Party City or Spirit Halloween have posted online. But this was my first time laying eyes on it, and like I said, I've got the same one that's featured in this video here in the studio with me. So we'll take a look at that in just a minute. So I'm gonna still be here live in the chat. Feel free. Blah, 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 my excitement is palpable. Can you tell? Feel free to comment along as it goes. And like I said, this is very quick editing, so it might be a little rough around the edges. I'll get my words out eventually. It might be a little rough around the edges, so bear with me. But check it out, and then we'll come back, and I'll have the mask here. We'll talk about that a little bit more, and then we'll move into more of the HDN 10th anniversary stuff, which is going to culminate with that world premiere from the 2018 adventure that we had that nobody's ever seen before. Something from our archives I've been wanting to drop on you guys exclusively. So tonight's the night we're going to do that. So again, thank you all for being here. Regular Monday night viewers, I'm about to say happy Michael Myers Monday. It's not Michael Myers Monday, but happy, I don't know, happy HDN 10. How about that? Happy HDN 10, everybody. Thank you for being here and joining me. All right, I'm going to cue this up right now and check out my unboxing of the officially licensed Halloween Ends Michael Myers mask right here. Hey everybody, Matt here with Halloween Daily News, and the day is finally here. We are about to check out the officially licensed Halloween Ends Michael Myers mask by Trick or Treat Studios. This is, of course, the mask that comes from the original movie master, sculpted by the film's makeup effects team of Christopher Nelson and Vincent Van Dyke. And I have not seen one in person yet. Of course, I've seen photos online, as many of you have. Regular viewers know that this is not our entire shipment. We're only getting a portion of our shipment right now, and the rest, we are told by Trick or Treat, is coming in October. That being said, all of the masks that we have received in our initial shipment already sold out. And so you'll be happy to know, if you're watching this and you're one of the ones that ordered a new HN's mask, that yours has arrived, and it'll be shipping out tomorrow on Friday, the 23rd of September. Even though we had to wait a few days longer than anticipated, it's slightly fitting that this arrival arrived today on Thursday, September 22nd, because today is in fact the 10th anniversary of the launch of HalloweenDailyNews.com. So while we're celebrating that, we're also celebrating this awesome product arrival. So I'm going to cut into this box, and we're going to get a first look right here, fresh right out the box, and then I'm going to dim the lights and shoot some better demo video, and we'll talk about it more. So I got my phone and got my box cutter. Let's get into this. We'll cut to the POV now. All right, here we go. Big unveiling. And there he is. Let's check out this first one right here on the top of the box. Oh yeah, I see that mold that we were promised right off the bat. Let's take a closer look. All right, let's check this guy out. There it is. This is just randomly the first one I pulled out. Oh man. Look at that. We'll come a little bit closer for you guys. Oh yeah, I like this paint job right off the bat. You can definitely see the mold effect that we were promised in those promo photos. The blending is much better and more even than that initial shipment last year around this time that we got of the HKs, I have to say. Yeah, the hair is nice and crusty up here, moldy over here on the left side. Got a little hint of that yellowing over here by the mouth, I see. Again, all of these just first immediate impressions. Here's the bullet hole gash from the 2018 film. Now with some of that white mold growing inside of it, it appears. And I don't know exactly what that mold effect is made out of. Maybe like some cotton stuck on there possibly. But it's on there pretty good, and it looks pretty effective. Yeah, I like his hair. And yeah, this sculpt looks really nice. You see a lot of the echoes of the previous two masks, obviously some of those effects, but Christopher has made clear that each movie is an all-new sculpt. Wow, and this particular one I pulled out, I mean, again, the paint job on it, to me, looks really nice. And I will shoot some better showcase video here in just a second, but for just randomly pulling out the very first one on the top of the box of our very first box in our first shipment of masks, this is a really nice looking paint job. As you know, with Trick or Treat and in any, mass-produced mask like this, I mean, the details are never going to be exact or exactly the same on every single mask. There's going to be differences throughout, and it'll be interesting when we unpack some more of these. I'll put some of them out on display and shoot some video of a couple different ones so you can get an idea of some of the different looks. But again, just for being the random first mask pulled out, I love the shape, no pun intended. I love the darkness around the eyes right here. I hope that is present in all of the other copies that at least we receive, because that really goes a long way in and deepening the blackest of eyes. And like I said, all of this damage over here on the left side, whereas the HKs, some of the copies, depending on what you got, it wasn't very even. You'll remember last year, this looks very much more naturally blended, more even, and yeah, he has been rotting away for the last 4 years since the events of the last movie, apparently. But here you go. All right, I'm gonna shoot some better showcase video right now so you can see what he looks like in some different lighting conditions. So immediate first impressions right out of the box. I am definitely very happy with this mask. Is it the best of these 3 recent Trick or Treat Studios releases from Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and now Halloween Ends? You let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I tell you what though, I mean, my immediate impressions is I do like it better than last year's Halloween Kills release, and I might like it better than the 2018 release, which I really do love that 2018 mask, both how it appears in the film itself and the Trick or Treat Studios version. But let me know what you think about the new Halloween Ends Michael Myers mask in the comments below. Like I said, we are actually sold out of these masks at the moment. They sold out in record time as soon as they were listed on our website. But we are scheduled to get more in just a few weeks. So keep watching the channel and keep checking HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop so you can get yours. And then let me know what you think once you receive it. Until then, I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching. Yes, yes, yes. There you go, everybody. That is my unboxing. That's what arrived in the mail today. Finally got my hands on it. And again, I avoided seeing one. It's not like I avoided it on purpose, but I had not seen one like hanging up at a Party City or Spirit Halloween or Halloween City or anything like that yet. So, and again, here is that first mask. It's that same one featured in the video that I pulled out. It just happened to be the top one. I haven't even really looked at the others, honestly, because literally I had just enough time to run upstairs, shoot that, come down here, edit that, put a little bit of generic music behind the showcase, and then get it all queued up here for tonight. So I haven't even really looked at the others. I counted them to make sure that we got all the ones that are in our shipment. So they're all there. So everybody that ordered, again, they're going out tomorrow, rest assured. But I have not inspected every single one or anything. And that will be another little piece of video I'll do at a different time, is some of the different masks. Like I mentioned in there, you'll be able to see some of the different masks. Just the subtle differences. But at first glance, there's not as many differences as it is in that initial batch of HKs that we got. If you'll remember last year, if you're a regular viewer, we got a secondary batch of HKs around Christmas time, which I remarked at the time where I thought the paint job was a lot better in those. for what it's worth. Anyway, first glance, out the box, that is not nearly the issue that it was last year with the HKs here. These look really impressive. Like I said in that video, I am really happy with it. And so here he is. And again, the lighting down here in my office, it's not nearly as ideal as in the showcase video or in our showcase room where we shoot those videos. But this is that exact same mask from Trick or Treat Studios, from the original movie master by Christopher Nelson, with assist by Vincent Van Dyke and their team. And here it is. I mean, like I said, you can see that mold effect. We know from the Trick or Treat listing, they call it this mold effect. I think it's probably, you know, like cotton or something glued in there, kind of like how they glued the hair. But I mean, the hair all around here, it's very in place, very, very crispy, and you know, it's not going to blow in the wind, which I appreciate. But you can see right there, I know, autofocus it, there you go. Now we got him locked in. So there you go. And as always, I mean, there's going to be differences with each copy. That's kind of part of the fun. It's a little bit like a treasure hunt sometimes with these masks, trying to find them. But these look much more uniform than the HKs, I do have to say. And again, I've been a fan of all three of these masks. I mean, obviously the way they look in the movies, I'm a huge fan. But I've really liked Trick or Treat's most recent releases. But like I said in the video, I mean, I think I might like this more than the HK, and I might even like it more than the 2018. I don't know. But in a separate video, what I will do is shoot some showcase video in that same lighting with this guy and the previous two releases as well, so you can see all three of them lined up together, compare the differences, and of course the similarities, because there are a lot. I mean, they're all different sculpts technically, but a lot of those details going back to 2018 are still in there, right around here in the eye specifically. I mean, obviously the bullet wound here from the end of 2018, the gash over here. So there we go. I turn it over to you guys, and I know some of you that have purchased from us, you're going to be receiving yours. I can't wait to hear your unboxings and see your unboxings and hear your reviews as well. But if you haven't gotten your hands on it, tell me what you think based on that footage, based on this footage. And again, you can style it how you want. You can, of course, have them rehauled. I mean, many people will buy these at $80 strictly for that Christopher Nelson sculpt that you get. And then they can send it off and you know, have any number of independent artists rehaul it to make it even more screen accurate. This is not going to be 100% screen accurate, obviously. But, I mean, you could see just in my quick video, which I didn't spend much time shooting at all. I could do a lot more with given, you know, a few more hours, obviously. But, you know, you could do a lot of, you can have a lot of fun with this guy in the right lighting and this Halloween season. So, and not exaggerating when we say he sold out in record time. I'm pretty sure he probably is selling in record numbers from Trick or Treat as well. But as far as our store, I mean, the only thing that's ever come close to selling out that fast were the 2018 masks, which did sell out on pre-order before they even arrived on us. But not in 2 hours like this guy did, less than 2 hours. So. So there we go, at long last, in hand, at least for a few minutes until they all ship out. Of course, I had to purchase myself one for my own collection, obviously. But, I mean, for the first pull out of the box, what do you guys think? And keep watching the channel. Like I said, I'll add more video. We'll have that unboxing video up probably tomorrow. But we'll have, I'll shoot additional video with more of the masks, just so you can compare how different and how similar they all are this time around. And I'll also do that comparison with the 2018 and the kills. All right, give me your thoughts. in the comments below and right now in the live chat. Let's see. Christine, what's up? T. Christine, hello. I think that's Thelma out there. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Kultazami says a lot better lighting. Yep. Lighting's always the key. Protect Safe says marshmallowy. Kind of toasty, like a marshmallow a little bit. Band Builder has checked in. What's up? Thank you for being here. Attendee at Haunted Screams, I believe. We got lots more from Haunted Screams coming. We just started our tiny bit of our rollout with the Monsters panel, but we got lots more, man. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. Anthony says, love it. Looks great. From the looks of it, I like it better than Kills. Hardyverse says, very cool new mask. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I am very happy. And again, I've liked all the masks. But admittedly, those Kills, especially that first paint job, that first batch that we received anyway, there was a lot of inconsistencies there. But even more so than the 2018s. And the 2018s varied, of course, especially in those early batches as well. But this one, and again, I haven't looked at all the, but for just a quick pull, and I did the same thing with Kills. If you remember, I filmed an unboxing the same time of year, just about when we got our Kills last year, our first shipment of Kills. I did the same thing. I just put up literally the very first match, so you can compare. Go back on the channel and look at that when you get a chance. But yeah. My initial reaction is no complaints. I mean, it looks pretty badass, and I can't wait to be rocking it this Halloween. And probably at my local theater if they'll let me and not call the police. Dude's asking, but does it taste like a marshmallow? I haven't tasted it yet, but I don't think so. Tim says looks great. Yes, sir. Yes, and Tim is one that has one on the way. I definitely, again, I sincerely appreciate your patience, Tim, and anybody else watching this that did order one. We appreciate your patience. They are shipping out tomorrow on Friday. Patrick says be sure to check out his podcast this Sunday when Sean Clark is their guest. Excellent. Patrick runs the Halloween Michael Myers Collectibles Facebook page. He's got a great Instagram account and a podcast as well. So, follow Patrick on all of the socials and check out that podcast. I'll be listening. I'll definitely be listening. Our buddy Sean on there. I've got a great photo of Sean and myself from Mad Monster Expo I need to share with you guys. Maybe we'll do it on Monday night. I don't know. We got some fun flashback stuff to look at tonight. Maybe I'll have time to pull that up. But, be sure to tell him we said hi. If you're recording it live, if it's not already been recorded, which it probably has. In which case, never mind. Let's see. Dude says, the unboxing you opened it, we came. You must come. Yeah, I love it. Hellraiser. New Hellraiser trailer looks badass, by the way. I'm all on board for that. Hell yeah. Looks good. Don't have Hulu. And they didn't give us a press account, oddly enough. We did apply, so I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, I'll check it out eventually. Patrick would love to have me as a guest on an episode. Yeah, I could probably do that sometime. Darlene has checked in. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Another friend of the channel. Hardyverse has the 2018 mask. Loves it, but this one is very tempting. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It's. I keep looking down here at it, But yeah, it's very nice. And I haven't even, literally it's been a few hours since I opened that box, filmed that, ran down here, cut it. So I haven't even soaked it in. These are my initial thoughts. I'm sure I'll have more. We'll dive into it much deeper during this Monday's regular live stream, our Michael Myers Monday live stream, which we do every Monday. If you like what we're doing here tonight, I'm just going to plug this real quick so I don't forget later. Every Monday night, we do Michael Myers Monday Live, where it's just all Michael Myers and Halloween movie franchise stuff. News, discussion, unboxings, show and tells, whatever. All that fun stuff. So, if you're enjoying this, you should join us on Monday nights. And obviously, we've only got a few since Halloween ends, so, it's a big time for us right now. But the Monday night tradition will continue long after Halloween ends, obviously. And that ain't going nowhere. Speaking of traditions, the tradition of Halloween daily news, of celebrating Halloween every single day, you guys are all part of that. And you have helped us be around for 10 years, for better or for worse. And it's crazy how time flies. Here we are, September 22nd, 2022, 9/22/22. And I'm looking back on September 12th, 2012. Anybody want to take a wild guess what the very first article ever published on HalloweenDailyNews.com was back in 2012? I'll give you just a few minutes to chime in the live chat if you've got a guess or if you think you know the answer. I'll even settle for maybe even the general subject matter. And you can't say Halloween. You can't even say Halloween the holiday. I mean, that's a given, of course. But what was the first story? Keith is asking if the ends masks is bigger than the kills masks. To be honest, that part I have not tried one on because I have not fully settled on which one is my own. It's probably going to be that first one there. By Monday night, I'll be able to let you know for sure. But again, at first glance and first comparison, I don't think it's going to be any bigger. And if so, very little. But it doesn't appear to be any bigger to me. But I have not tried one on yet because, again, I'm not going to wear one unless it's the one I'm keeping for myself. So even though I'm really happy with this first one that came out of the box, so that's probably going to be mine. But that part I haven't committed to quite yet. But I will absolutely update you on Monday night, if not more, on that question because that is something I'm wondering as well. But at first glance, it appears roughly comparable to the kills size, which in my opinion was just a little bit bigger than the 2018. A lot of people complained 2018 was too small. Kills was a little bit bigger, kind of middle ground between 2018 and like the 78s or the H2s. So, Patrick Ring knows the answer. You get the prize, man. Awesome. Dude likes the trailer too. And the new Cenobites, yes. As does the new Pinhead. Hell yes. I think it all looks good. I mean, I'm totally on board for that. And we're going to talk more Hellraiser here on the channel soon because hopefully you saw some of our footage from Haunted Screams Expo. Butch Patrick, Daniel, Roebuck, talking the monsters. We also did a panel with Hellraiser, Gary Tunnicliffe, Paul Taylor, who was a previous Pinhead, after Doug Bradley, before the current Jamie Clayton incantation and incarnation. Anyway, keep watching for that if you're a Hellraiser fan. A lot of good stuff coming that way. Keith is correct as well. Yes, Patrick is correct. You got it. You got it. 10 years ago, on this day, we're gonna take just a little stroll down memory road for just a minute, And I apologize in advance if this comes across as like we're just patting ourselves on the shoulder here, because the truth is that is what we're doing here for just a few minutes. It's been 10 years, and while nobody is happier on this planet that there is so much Halloween news literally happening every day right now, it wasn't always like this. And 10 years ago, there weren't a whole lot of other outlets talking about Michael Myers as much, or talking even about the Halloween holiday quite as much as there are today. Not saying we kickstarted any of that, but I'll let you guys say that. Um, anyway, yes, to answer the trivia question, Patrick, you are correct. The very first article ever published at HalloweenDailyNews.com, which longtime readers, if anybody's still reading from those days, will remember that was back when we were on the blogger.com platform. It was about that year's re-release of John Carpenter's original 1978 classic, Halloween. And here you can see that article published on September 22nd, 2012. And we have reported on that same film returning to select theaters every year since. Perhaps an even more interesting question might be what the very second article ever published was. And if you're curious about that, I'll go ahead and tell you right now. It was about the Universal Classic Monsters being released on Blu-ray for the first time. As editor-in-chief and co-editor-in-chief and founder with my wife, Sue Arts, I had to make a decision, and we had to discuss very early on if Halloween Daily News was going to be strictly Michael Myers stuff, which I could have easily done, but then we're a fan site for that franchise. Or are we going to be all things Halloween, with an obvious concentration on the biggest franchise based around that holiday ever created, or ever would be created? And it became pretty apparent pretty quick that I did not want to limit what we were doing with Halloween Daily News. And so the next article published on the site, article number 2, not only did it not have anything to do with Michael Myers or the Halloween movie franchise, it actually didn't even have anything to do with the Halloween holiday. So it kind of set a precedent because my thinking at that time, honestly, I'm just going to give you a little off-the-cuff commentary on some of the behind-the-scenes facts and trivia about our brand here. If you don't care and go to sleep at this point, then that's all good. I understand. But my thinking was that these classic monsters, certain classic monsters, whether they are in a movie or that their origin and folklore is based on or around October 31st or not, some of them get a pass. And among those are the Universal classics, like Dracula, like the Wolfman, like Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Invisible Man, The Mummy, and of course, Creature from the Black Lagoon. So, one more thing back on that very first article. Like I said, we have reported on John Carpenter's Halloween being re-released in select theaters every single year since launching in 2012. And so it just wouldn't be our 10th anniversary if today we didn't publish, yet again, the headline that John Carpenter's Halloween returns to theaters in 2022. As has been the tradition in recent years, the original 78 classic, along with the sequels, 1988's Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and 1989's Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, they're both coming back to select theaters, courtesy of Compass International, Trancas International, and Cinelife Entertainment. And this is the restored and remastered digital print created under the supervision of world-renowned cinematographer and friend of the brand. Check out my interview, HalloweenDailyNews.com, Dean Cundy, John Carpenter's favorite cinematographer, and ours too. Various screenings are happening now through October 31st, and you can go to Cinelife Entertainment's website to learn more, or just follow the link at HalloweenDailyNews.com. Of course, it's back in theaters. It is a tradition, has been a tradition every single year since our launch. So it's a tradition for us to report on that tradition now. If that makes any sense. So here's another trivia question that maybe I'll try to give a few more minutes because I realized I forget that you guys are on a delay. There's like a minute delay on you guys. So when I say I'm giving you a few minutes, when it's a few minutes for me, it's barely been a few seconds for you. I forget that sometimes. So I apologize if other people were trying to answer after Patrick, and I immediately just gave it away with the first person that answered. And in any case, I'm going to go back over to the live chat now. But here's another question before we move on to more flashbacks from our decade of Halloween Daily. What was the very first exclusive interview that we ever published on HalloweenDailyNews.com? Now, I will give you a hint. It's a pretty obvious hint, I know. But even though we made that decision in story number 2 on October 1st of 2012 that, we're not going to limit what we do here to the Halloween franchise. We're not even going to limit it strictly to October 31st. We're going to, be Halloween, all things Halloween, with making certain exceptions for certain horror icons that are synonymous with Halloween. With all that being said, yes, the first interview that we ever did was with a member, an esteemed alum of the Halloween movie franchise. The first few we did were with members of the that fraternity, if you will, of Halloween franchise cast members. In fact, we started doing our interviews. We launched in the fall of 2012, and by early 2013, I had this idea that we were going to try to interview as many people from the Halloween movie franchise as possible, because it was the 35th anniversary of the franchise that year. And they were going to do 35 Years of Terror that year. And so I set about trying to set up some interviews, and we did land a couple. So the very first interview published, also in 2012, another hint, it dropped on May 1st of 2012. I'll reveal it in, let's see, my clock says 9:22. I'll try to wait until like, I don't know. I'll get antsy, so I don't know how long we'll wait. Sometimes a minute when you're live seems like 10 minutes, you know what I mean? But I'll try to wait a couple minutes. Ken has checked in. What's up, man? Thank you for being here. Another longtime viewer and supporter of the channel. I appreciate you being here, man. Keith says that the very first interview is Dick Warlock, Matt's fave. Interesting answer. I'm not going to say if he's right or wrong yet. I'm going to try to do my best to not spoil the answer. Let's play along here for a few seconds. Keith, yes, Keith is exactly right. HDN created the Michael Myers Monday hashtag. Nothing better than that. This is true. This is true. While we're waiting for an answer on that, I'll give that story real quick, because we might have some new people here watching, some new blood, as we like to say, and you are so welcome to be here. Yeah, Michael Myers Monday thing. How that started was, we launched in fall of 2012. 2013, we're doing all these interviews with the Halloween movie franchise, and while it was, again, that conscious decision from the very launch to not be synonymous with only that franchise, it was also always a conscious decision that, yeah, we're probably not going to cover any other single subject more than that one franchise, especially knowing that even though there was no new film specifically in progress at that moment, we knew that there would be eventually. So, come fall 2013, we're running this retrospective on the 35th anniversary of Halloween. We've interviewed a lot of the alums, and it's kind of the heyday of WCW Woman Crush Wednesday stuff, and there was like a Man Crush Monday, I think, and like TBT for Throwback Thursday and Flashback Friday. All the little 3-letter hashtag things, all claiming a day of the week, right? And so, yeah, I just, not knowing anything about anything with hashtags or anything, said, well, what if we started a hashtag all about Michael Myers on Mondays, Michael Myers Monday. And I did think of Myers Monday first, because a lot of people have used that over the years as well. But the only reason I didn't go with that one, and I don't use that one, is because somebody had already started that one. And what's more, they were not using it in relation to Michael Myers. I don't even remember what it was. It was like a business thing. But somebody had done a few tweets on Twitter. with a Myers Monday hashtag. So I was like, well, that one has been done, and it's been done by something other than what I'm thinking. But on the other hand, the long version, yeah, a lot more characters, but hashtag Michael Myers Monday, that had never been done on any social media. So in October of 2013, on a Monday, we launched it. We said, let's get this thing trending. Let's go. And, you know, we've been posting about it every week ever since. And now there's a ton of people that have no clue that we started it, and that's fine. And they've made it their own. And we talk about it every Monday night. I always do shout outs. I'm not going to do them tonight because the whole thing's kind of a shout out. But on Monday nights, we always end every Monday night with some shout outs, random shout outs to people that use the hashtag on Twitter, on Instagram, on whatever. So there's the story of Michael Myers Monday. Yes, it did originate here. And so thank you, Keith, for pointing that out. And yeah, we have to own that every now and then because not everybody knows that. But yep, if you scroll all the way back in order of chronological order, you'll see for yourself. Okay, so nobody else has an answer on the trivia question of the very first interview. The answer, unfortunately, no, not Dick Warlock. Nope, that would come later on in our history. No, in fact, the very first interview published and conducted at HalloweenDailyNews.com was with our friend Tamara Glenn, who plays Samantha in Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. That was published back on May 1st, 2013. It was the first part of a multi-part interview we did with Tamara, who at that point in her life and career was very much coming back into the genre and to the franchise after being disconnected from it pretty much since the film's release. She left Hollywood and went and lived with and took care of her mom, and she was coming out of a lot of that and kind of re-embracing this fandom right at the time we interviewed her. And it was a really great interview. And of course, it was on the occasion of the 35th anniversary of the entire franchise. Again, you can find all these interviews under the interviews section at HalloweenDailyNews.com. And just if you're curious, you can see the next interviews published. Following Tamara, we had the first part of our exclusive with PJ Souls, who gave us the exclusive announcements that she would be appearing at that year's 35 Years of Terror reunion. And again, most of these interviews, they were wrapped up throughout the summer and into that fall with multiple parts drawn out. We also interviewed Brian Andrews that year, and I have to speak about Brian Andrews just real quick because that was another one that was I was very proud of at the time. Brian, of course, plays such a pivotal role in the original franchise. Sue and I, we love him. It was great meeting him and connecting with him in person when we finally made it out to South Pasadena in 2018. And you know, we think about Brian a lot. I would love to talk to him again. We had a couple conversations actually that interview is made up, and some very candid phone conversations in 2013. And you know, ever since I heard that they were bringing that character back in HK, you know, I've thought often, and Sue and I have talked often about Brian. And Brian, if you're watching this or ever get wind of this, you know, we're here to talk anytime, you know, on the record or certainly otherwise, you know, anytime you want to or need to. And that was another one of the very earliest interviews. I mean, those were the first three: Tamara, PJ, and Brian. And so those two people obviously hold a very special place in our history and in our hearts. But we weren't done that year. I interviewed Eric Preston, who plays young Michael Myers in Age 4 as well in 2013, part of that 35th anniversary retrospective. Outside of the franchise, we started talking to Night of the Demons cast members, of which I've had the pleasure of interviewing a few over the years. And that year, in 2013, we published an interview with Amelia Kincaid from Night of the Demons. And another one of the interviews that I am most proud of from that first round, those first 12 months or so of interviews, was actually with Kyle Richards. And this was at a time when, you know, Real Housewives had started, and it wasn't quite what it is now, but it was definitely, I mean, reaching, like, it's huge popularity levels, and and you know, her reprising her character in HK was, of course, light years away at that point. But I knew what a big deal that was, and I was very excited as a fan because I know she'd done interviews over the years about this franchise, but not a lot, and really not a lot, if any, for outlets like ours. So for our outlet, in roughly its first year of existence, to get all of these other illustrious alums from that franchise, and as well as Amelia, and we're starting to branch out. But then to land Kyle Richards, and it was a great phone conversation that we had with her. And I still recall that in that very first interview, I asked her, as I did all of the Halloween alums that we would interview over the years, if the time came, when the time comes and they're making another Halloween movie, if they were to ask you to come back in some way, whether it's as this character, as maybe as a different character, maybe even as a cameo or anything like that, would you be interested? And she was one, like many of them said, almost all of them said, but Kyle was one who said that even then in 2013 that absolutely, absolutely she would totally love to come back and wanted to. And she told me even back then that she has the Carpenter's Halloween theme as her ringtone every October in Halloween season. So all those years later, to see her announced and confirmed to be reprising Lindsay Wallace in HK, that was pretty cool for us to see. You never know. Maybe we'll be able to talk to her again one day, but of course she's bigger than ever now. And also among that first year, Caroline Williams, another horror icon that we were able to speak to on the occasion of the 35th anniversary of the franchise. Of course, she appeared in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Now, no, I'm not going to recount every single interview we've ever done here. That would take a little bit longer than I'm willing to spend tonight, but I do want to point out just a couple other notable ones and just a couple other favorites and just bigger moments for us. And I can't talk about our 10-year history and our exclusives and our interviews without talking about, like regular viewers know, I'm always talking about it, but I have to talk about our interview with John Carpenter. This goes back to 2014. This was in year 2 of our existence. Actually, year 3 of our existence, but overall it was the... anyway, you get what I'm saying. In October, in 2014, I was lucky enough to secure a 30-minute phone interview with the man, the myth, the legend, the master of horror, John Carpenter himself. And regular viewers know what a huge fan I am of John Carpenter. He's my favorite director, my favorite filmmaker, all that stuff. So to get this interview, it was just a huge lifelong dream, accomplishment, career highlight, life highlight, fanboy highlight, whatever you want to call it. And we talked about a lot of cool stuff, but just a few things I'm going to point out right here tonight, if you will indulge me. Since I've got the mic, I'll just point out just a few fun things that we talked about. And I've referenced this, regular Triple M viewers know I've referenced this before, but speaking on Halloween 78, because a lot of people debate this in fandom, online, and so forth. So I asked the question to John Carpenter himself in 2014. I asked him, who is Michael Myers to you? Is he a supernatural force, or is he just a crazy guy who picked this random girl? And John Carpenter answered, quote, well, he's a little bit of both. He's a human being, but he has supernatural elements to him. He's a guy that has no personality, no character. He's more like a force than he is human. But he skirts the edge on that. I was just playing around with it. I think that's what makes the movie fun. The impossible, invisible, standing in the dark force that is Michael Myers. He's going to kill you. And his motivations aren't entirely clear. All he's doing is not entirely clear. He's just pure evil. He's human evil, but there is the supernatural, maybe he stays alive, maybe he can't be killed element to him. And I followed up that question asking again if Laurie is really seeing. I followed up with that question asking Carpenter, is Laurie really seeing the shape out the window? Or could that be something that she's just imagining? Or is he really out there playing with her that whole time? And again, John's answer in typical John Carpenter style, he says, quote, "You'll have to decide for yourself. I think that's what makes Halloween a unique movie. I hadn't seen a movie like that before Halloween. Before Halloween, it was all very cut and dry. You either had a monster of some sort, or a ghost, or a killer. But in this, there was a little bit of everything in Michael Myers. That's what attracted the audience. It wasn't an accident." End quote. So again, to my Michael Myers fans out there, I always go back to that interview, to those quotes. I mean, John could change his tune today if he wanted to, but I don't think he would or does. I think that holds true today, 8 years later, as it did in 2014. There's your answer. He's both, and that is the beauty of it all, and the terror of it all, and the horror of it all. That's precisely it. So, not going to go into a whole thing. That's more for Monday nights. But my Monday night crew, my Triple M regulars, you guys have heard me say it before. I mean, people that want things to explain. How did Michael get from this place to that place without people seeing him? And, oh, he was all beat up over here, and he was busy killing this person over here. So how did he magically appear over here? Is he supernatural? Is he a man? Is he doing this? Or is he traveling through tunnels over time? Is there a multiverse and he's jumping through portals like Doctor Strange? John says, and I say, it's okay to ask those questions, but you have to accept that there is no answer to those questions. All right, another interview that was a landmark moment, because like I said, we decided pretty early on we weren't going to cover only Halloween properties, not even just only that movie franchise, but, if it was something iconically horror that people automatically would identify with iconic Halloween time viewing, costuming, etc. We're all about it. And at the heart of that, from that very second story ever published, is, of course, the classic Universal Monsters. So another one of my favorite interviews that, again, I'm not ranking these as far as, my favorites or the most popular or anything. I'm just pulling out a couple that are absolutely meaningful to me personally, and I think were big moments here for us as HDN in general. And one of those was with the creature from the Black Lagoon himself, the legendary Rico Browning, who filmed all the underwater scenes as the creature in all three of Universal's classic Black Lagoon films. And this interview took place in 2019, just before everything changed the following year, at GalaxyCon in Raleigh, North Carolina. And there you can see Rico and myself. And it was just a great interview where I got to connect with the last of the original Universal classic monsters. And I can't overstate the importance of his work in that film and in this genre. I mean, Black Lagoon is one of the films that it is so cool, kind of like Halloween 3 Seasons of the Witch in a way, to where it was never anybody's favorite maybe for decades, but now it's kind of had this reevaluation in recent decades to where the creature of the Black Lagoon, from the Black Lagoon, and that film, that original film, and that film series has really become a favorite among classic horror fans. So you can find that interview. It is a written interview. You can find it at HalloweenDailyNews.com under the interviews. Here on the channel, though, we do have a bit of Rico talking about Black Lagoon, as well as Flipper and other subjects during a Q&A that you can find here on the HDN channel as well. Another living legend. As long as we're talking about landmark interviews, this is a gentleman I've interviewed quite a few times over the years now, and it never gets old, and I'll never turn down a chance to have a conversation with him. I'm talking about the legendary Dick Warlock. Now, this is a link to our most recent interview in early 2021. But our very first interview, that took place back in 2015. That was a landmark one because it was kind of a fun event at Mad Monster Party, and Mr. Warlock was a guest, of course. And we actually went to lunch, his wife, himself, my wife, and myself, and we went to lunch. It was like his lunch break during signing, and we ended up doing this interview like in this back room, away from the public, away from everybody else, at his request. This is what he wanted to do. And so we went back there, and we had just like this private time, and he's just telling me all these stories. And of course, regular viewers know, and anybody that's checked out my interviews know that we talk much more than about just his work in Halloween 2 and Halloween 3. His filmography is amazing and stunning, and he's just a badass and a hilarious guy anyway, and very kind. So, that was another landmark interview. And again, you can find our most recent follow-up interview from 2021. That, too, is cut into 2 parts, but that is a video interview here on the HDN YouTube channel. And, of course, I'm not the only one that does the interviews. Sue, my beautiful and talented wife, Sue Arts, as many of you know, and certainly longtime viewers will know, and if you don't know, new blood, you should know. Yeah, she does many of the interviews as well, and hosting here on the channel. And so she has done her share of our on-site interviews at conventions and so forth. One of our favorites has to be with another living icon of the genre, the great Joe Bob Briggs. And this interview holds some significance, not only because I think a fun conversation with Joe Bob, but it also takes place at the Scares That Care charity weekend. And again, regular viewers might know that this is an event that we covered the last 3 years that it took place, but it was recently announced that it has been discontinued, and that charity weekend horror convention component of the organization is no longer going to take place in Williamsburg, Virginia now. So it's a little bit bittersweet. But real quick before we move on, I'm going to play just a little clip of this particular interview because this is kind of fun. This is Joe Bob talking about Halloween and about, more specifically, the kind heart of horror fans. Again, this is at the Scares That Care charity weekend back in 2019. Check it out.
What's up, everybody? I'm Sue Arts with Halloween Daily News, here with Joe Bob Briggs. And you're so tall in person. It's an honor to meet you.
I'm tall on TV, too.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm short all the time, so I guess, But, so is this your first time in Williamsburg at Scares That Care?
It's the first time to come to Scares That Care, yeah,
Nice.
absolutely, yeah.
So what did you think about it?
It's a wonderful, unique, one-of-a-kind event. I mean, the only charity horror con, I can remember a time when horror cons were considered disreputable.
Yeah.
So there was no charity that would attach their name to one. I did a film festival in the early 80s in Dallas, where we were going to give all the money to the March of Dimes, and the March of Dimes found out what kind of movies we were showing, and so they refused to accept our money. And so times have changed, and they've changed for the better, and people have learned what big hearts horror fans have.
Yeah, and that's what we have found is that the horror fans, they are usually the most kind-hearted people that you can find, and they're truly loyal fans too.
Ironically,
yeah,
they love dismemberment, but they would never do it themselves.
No, of course not. I think that's how they vent, and so they remain gentle on the outside. So, what do you think of Williamsburg? Have you been here before?
I came to Williamsburg with my grandparents when I was 6 years old, to see colonial Williamsburg, and I was such a nerd, I wanted to see every single thing in Williamsburg. And then I came here again when I was the sports editor of the student newspaper at Vanderbilt University, and so the only team that we could beat usually in the whole year was William and Mary, and so we would always cover the William and Mary game. I drove all the way from Nashville just to cover the William and Mary game, and I remember writing this article that started out something like William and Mary played a football game yesterday, but apparently William didn't show up. And it was because William and Mary had the only team that was like weaker than the Vanderbilt team. And so if we were going to have that 2-8 season instead of our 1-9 our usual 1-9 season, we had to play William and Mary. So I was here at the stadium, like I'm sure I had so little money that I drove in, whatever that is, 12 hours or something, watched the game, and then drove right back to Nashville. But so I was here, when I was like 20 years old.
Such fond memories. So how about this time? Are you going to be able to do any sightseeing?
All right, so you can check out the full interview, like I said, at HalloweenDailyNews.com under the interview section, or you can just search the words Joe Bob in the search bar at the site, or you can search our site for that interview. And when we're done here, again, I should have done it before we started, but slacker like I am. No, I was busy cutting the other stuff. But anyway, I'll put links to all of these main interviews that I've spent a few minutes talking about here tonight, kind of a few of these landmark ones. And again, I don't want to discount any of them because they're all, that's why I'm not saying any of these are like my favorite or our favorite or the top ones or anything like that. But they're just some fun, notable ones that, were kind of formative for us. And another one of those has to be, when we're talking about genre legends and just living icons for generations, I had the opportunity last year, believe it or not, thanks to Disney, specifically Disney Plus, believe it or not, to interview legendary, iconic author R.L. Stine. And this was on the occasion of the release of the Disney Plus original series, Just Beyond, which is a really good series, by the way. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone, Black Mirror, but, Disney version, but it's good. Based on R.L. Stine's works. And so this is just a small clip from that interview. Again, he's a living icon, but I love this story because, I always ask in our interviews, it's become part of our tradition and just part of what we do here at Halloween Daily. We always try to ask, hey, if you celebrate Halloween and things like what's your favorite costume, what's your favorite candy, we want to get to what makes a person who they are, which for us, it's how they celebrate or honor the traditions of Halloween, or don't in some cases. And there's no wrong if they don't. That's happened sometimes too. And that's but that is part of our interview to kind of learn a little bit more about a person. So with that in mind, here's a little clip of my chat with the legendary R.L. Stine. Do you guys have any favorite Halloween candy or a Halloween costume from then or from recent years?
I have a least favorite Halloween costume.
Okay.
When I was a kid, and I used this in my Halloween book, The Haunted Mask. I actually used it. When I was a kid, I wanted to be scary. I wanted to be something scary for Halloween. And my parents we were very poor, and they went out to the dime store, Kresge's, the dime store, to buy costumes for my brother and me. And they came back with a costume, and I opened the box, and it was a duck. It was a duck costume with a fuzzy yellow tail. And I had to, it was humiliating costume. And I had to, well, you couldn't afford a new costume every year. I had to be this fuzzy yellow duck for years.
Oh.
Horrible. I hated Halloween. But I used it in the Haunted Mask because Carly Beth is this girl, and she wants to be scary at Halloween time. And guess what costume her parents bring her? Yellow duck. So at least I got something out of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we all got something out of it in a way. That's awesome. And again, that was a obviously a junket interview for promotion of that movie, but you can watch more from it. There is more to it. You can find it also at HalloweenDailyNews.com. Search for Stein, or look under the interview section, or here on our channel as well. And as long as we're having this flashback discussion on interviews past, landmark interviews, meaningful people that we've interviewed, and again, all of these conversations are amazing. They're always important. You know, many of you watched last year as I was so privileged to be able to interview many of the cast members of Halloween Kills, many of the young cast members, new blood to the franchise, and really got to kind of introduce some of them to you guys. Shout out to Michael and to Carmela and to Diva and to Salem and to Gavin and to Giselle and to everybody that we talked to last year, Rachel, Doug, everybody from that film. It's, it did get emotional a few times with some of them, if you watched, because it's a big deal to be stepping into that. But somebody else that we talked to last year on the occasion of the release of HK is somebody that has become a friend, both on and off the record, so to speak. A friend of the brand, I like to think, and I like to think maybe a friend in real life too. And I'm talking about our current Michael Myers himself, Mr. James Jude Courtney. Now, I have been very lucky to interview, you guys know I love Michael Myers, obviously. I've interviewed almost all the men that have appeared on screen behind the mask. I can't say all of them. There's a few outstanding ones out there. Tyler, I'm looking at you, Tyler. And Dag, I'll be hitting you up in a few days. Anyway, there is there's a few I haven't, but in 2018, just a few weeks after filming Wrapped of Halloween 2018, I was lucky enough to secure a phone interview with Mr. James Jude Courtney, and this started a relationship that has continued, and hopefully will continue indefinitely. But we've since followed it up with a video interview in 2021, and then a third interview, also on video, which took place in October of last year, Halloween week of 2021, when HK was the #1 movie everywhere, and it was great bringing James in to talk about all of that. But it all started in 2018 with this one. And this was published on March 27th, 2018, with the headline, Meet James Jude Courtney, Your New Michael Myers in Halloween 2018. And obviously, I mean, James Jude Courtney existed and had a body of work and was, an impressive actor and performer long before he joined this franchise. But I do feel very privileged that we, as Halloween Daily News, and myself, through this, what was at the time a phone conversation that we had. I had not met him face to face yet. I essentially got to introduce the fans of this franchise to the new, you can't say face of the franchise because that doesn't really work with Michael, but the new shape, the guy, the real guy. And there would be many interviews to follow with other people, and a few with us. And But that was very meaningful at the time to be, and James, behind the scenes, he kind of let it be known that, I mean, let's be honest, he could have given that exclusive to anybody. You know what I mean? He could have chosen anybody, but he chose us based on work done at that time and what he had seen, and so that meant so much to me, and that's just one of the reasons we love James G. Courtney and respect him so much. It also turns out that he's an amazing guy. He's super smart. He's incredibly so well spoken. He gives a great interview, and he's kind of the ultimate Michael Myers now, right? I mean, come on. The only one to be on screen in 3 consecutive movies like this, kicking ass like he's doing. So, anyway, it would not be complete on our 10th anniversary to not speak of the great James Jude Courtney. I urge you, read that original interview, and just keep in mind that when we conducted that interview, he literally was on set less than a month prior to that interview. And I can't say it was officially the first interview ever done with James about Halloween 2018, but what it is because there were other journalists that were invited on set. And here's another lesson that I learned from all of that. I was a little upset that we weren't invited on set in 2018. I knew a lot of other journalists were. People like Blade Disgusting and Dread Central and Fangoria and, all the big dogs. And of course, part of me is like, well, we've been talking about this since 2012. We should get that invite, right? But here's the thing: all those journalists got invited to that set. They got to interview James and Jamie and Andy and Nick and the whole crew, right? And then they had to, sit on that material until the embargo lifted, and they all dropped it around the same time. And it was kind of pool interviews and everything. Not unlike a junket. In other words, what I'm getting at is, had I been invited to the set and been a part of that, while as amazing as it would have been, as fate would have it, I would not have been allowed, to do this movie or to do this interview with James at the time that we did it, and then much less to publish it publicly at that time. But as it turned out, I was able to do that. I there was nothing barring us from doing that. So it was a great moment for our website and for James, I think, to come out and say, here's your new Michael Myers. So check out that interview and then watch our follow-ups from 2021, both in the winter of 2021 when it was, they had filmed HK, the delay had been announced, it was kind of pre all that, and then our Halloween week interview from 2021. Check all that out. Again, just look for Courtney in the search bar at HalloweenDailyNews.com. Scroll down in the interview section at the website, or the most recent ones are on video here on the YouTube channel. So there's just a rundown of just a couple of, our favorite interviews. By far, that's not all of our favorites. That's not all of them by any means. When it comes to just the Michael Myers franchise, Michael Myers actors, there's been dozens that we've had the privilege of interviewing and connecting with. And outside of the franchise, many, many others as well. People from the Night of the Demons and many other franchises. Many of those interviews are in the interview section here on the channel. And all of them can always be found at our main website anytime at HalloweenDailyNews.com. Where it all began and where it's all going to end one way or another. Eventually. One day. But not today. In the immortal words of my favorite Game of Thrones character, not today. All right, checking back in with the live chat before we world premiere something from our archives that we have never shared before here on this channel or anywhere else. Not on the website, not on social media. We're going to world premiere it here in just a second, guys. I see David Suber has checked in. Happy anniversary, Matt and HDN. Thank you, sir, so much. Another friend of the brand, friend of the channel. Love it. The Crouchy Scarer is here. I love it. How much was Tackles the Clown when you bought him? You might be thinking of somebody else. I didn't buy Tackles the Clown. Yeah. I don't have a clown animatronic. I don't really have Any clown things other than my Art the Clown mask. I love me some Art the Clown. And I do have a young Michael Myers clown mask from Halloween 4, signed by Eric Preston, friend of the brand. Year 1 interview. Yeah, but I don't have Tackles the Clown. But thanks. And I did call this a Q&A, so I guess now is as good a time as any. If you've got any questions, I can't guarantee I'll answer anything, you know, but I'll try to if I can. So fire away if you got any. If not, that's no big deal too. I know it's getting late, but I did put Q&A in there, so fire away if you got some. Dude agrees that James Jude Courtney is a 10 out of 10 Myers. Darlene said, great interviews. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Keith agrees. Awesome interviews. Thank you so much, sir. Keith also says, James is a great guy. Met him twice. Absolutely my favorite. Michael, yeah, I think he's a lot of people's favorite. And again, this is more of a Monday thing. And I've said it before on Mondays, but say what you want about these current Halloween movies, but I don't think anybody's complaining, A, about John Carpenter's soundtrack. It's Carpenter and his bandmates, but the soundtrack and the shape in these movies. I don't think anybody's complaining about those. I mean, come on. I mean, they and the casting of James Jude Courtney, so right on. And I knew it. I knew it as a fan from that interview. Before you guys ever read that interview, I knew, speaking to him, before I ever met him, before I saw one single frame or still from the film. Remember, this was weeks after they shot. Nothing was out yet. We were so lucky, to have that. And for him to give us that gift of that conversation. And there's no spoilers in there. You can read the whole interview. There's nothing whatsoever spoilery about that in there. There's really nothing about the plot of the movie at all. But what there is a lot about James and who he is. And now, if you've been a fan for the last 4 years, then a lot of it, and if you've watched other interviews or read other interviews or seen him at panels or met him even, a lot of the things he says, you've probably heard him say before, but nobody had heard him say any of this before. Nobody had heard anything about this guy. He was, prior to that interview, remember, he was listed in that initial Bloody Disgusting article about Nick Castle coming back as Nick's stunt double. I don't know if they used the word stunt double, but, it was not acknowledged that James was playing Michael Myers. James was playing the shape, and Nick had a cameo until that interview when, James put it out there pretty bluntly right up front that he's in every scene, and Nick's appearance is for all intents and purposes a cameo appearance, and it was awesome, and of course rightfully so. I mean, you start thinking about it, well, yeah, Nick Castle's not going to be doing all the stunts and all that stuff in there. So anyway, that's some interview highlights. Of course, interviews are just a little part of what we do here. It's a big part. I mean, it's one of the funnest parts. It's one of our proudest parts, because it's connecting with people, I think, in a meaningful way with other people that we all share a love and affection for what they do, and it's kind of this big circle of joy in the world of horror and Halloween, I guess. But we do other things. We go out to these events, and a lot of them are conventions, and we're rolling out some Haunted Screams Expo stuff right now. We're just wrapping up our Mad Monster Expo stuff. We just talked about Scares That Care, and sometimes we'll do interviews and Q&As at those events, and all that is fun. And a lot of those are annual events that we really kind of build a lot of our year around, like Mad Monster Party in February. Shout out to them. It's coming this February. Let's pause for just a second. We did get a super chat earlier, and I commented on it, but shout out to you, Chad Francis. Everybody raise a toast to Chad for that $5 super chat. And now I see we have gotten another one, a $10 super chat from a channel member and supporter, our buddy Patrick Ring. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, happy anniversary, Matt and HDN. Thank you so much. Yes, it's Matt. It's the family, too. Sue, Oziah as well. He helps us. If you saw us at any of these last 3 conventions, you might have seen either one of them at our booth. You probably did. Or running around with me. If you didn't know, they're absolutely part of the operation as well. And it would be impossible without them, as anybody with a family can understand and knows. And So everything from needing Oziah's 15-and-a-half-year-old muscle and young blood to lug our gear around to Sue being the real brains behind all of this. All of this of the last 10 years would be impossible without their support, as well as it would be without all of your support. And like I said, a huge part of that over the years has always been our Michael Myers coverage, obviously. One of our earliest taglines for the website was celebrating the season and the shape every day. And by the way, that's every space day, at least if you say it like we do. Because if you say it every day, one word, it's like it's an everyday thing. And yes, Halloween is an everyday thing for us, one word, but it's also an every space day thing for us too. Anyway, English major, sorry. Anyway, a really notable landmark event that we attended, of course, was in 2018 when we were able to attend the 40 Years of Terror Halloween movie franchise reunion event in South Pasadena. And this was officially a 2-day horror convention that consisted of nothing but Halloween franchise alums and creative talent. And it really was made to a 3-day event because Sean Clark hosted the Horror's Hallowed Grounds special bus tour, specifically of Halloween franchise filming locations that Friday. So the entire event took place, and it all took place the weekend before Halloween 2018 opened. So excitement for this event was palpable, both in my heart, in this house, on the website, here on the channel, in the Hallosphere of this universe, if you will. And it also marked the very first convention appearance of James Jude Courtney. He had never done a convention. Now he's a staple at them and will be forever. Rhian Reese, who plays Dana in the movie, she also appeared there. Her first ever, and I believe still maybe her only ever convention appearance. Shout out to Rhian. She gave me an exclusive interview on site at that event. And again, you can find that in the interview section as well. But it was an awesome event, and it was also awesome for us. It was also awesome for us because, not only are we there, doing what we love with our people, as we like to say, you guys, for lack of a better term, our people, but it was one of the earliest times where some of you, readers of the website, subscribers to the website, followers on social media, and viewers, audience members here on the channel from back then would let us know, and we actually could connect with you in person. We'd have some comments at conventions here and there prior to that of, hey, Halloween Daily News, my favorite website stuff, which was always amazing. But to actually connect with so many of you out there, it was mind-boggling for us and eye-opening and humbling, and just it felt great. So that brings us to our final little feature here tonight, and then I'm going to let y'all go to bed or whatever. But what I'm going to do here is we're going to play just a few minutes of some brand new footage. And this is brand new old footage, or old brand new footage. I don't know. It was recorded in 2018 at 40 Years of Terror. And while we've released lots of footage from 40 Years of Terror, by the way, shout out to our buddy Sean Clark, one of the creative forces and masterminds behind the original 25 Years of Terror, and of course all the other of Terror reunion events that happen every year, and I'm sure it's going to happen next year, 45 Years of Terror. We would not have attended that event without him paving the way and helping us get there and looking out for us once we were there. So shout out Sean for making all of that possible, and this video you're about to see possible as well. So we got home, and that year, we published a massive photo gallery featuring just tons of photos from the event. We also published lots of video footage from various panels, as well as Sean's Horror's Hallowed Grounds tour. What we never published and has never been seen before tonight by public eyes outside of HDN headquarters here are some random clips that were recorded throughout the convention. Now, what you're going to see here, this is not even a final edit of this. Portions of what you're going to see here does not even have any audio to it. There's no audio. So when it's published in a few days on here on the channel, I will put like some generic music lightly behind the portions with no audio. But for tonight's purposes, since we're live here, this is a special event, I'm going to give you my commentary track as we're watching this. Don't worry, it's not long. It's not feature length. It's a few minutes. It's like less than 10 minutes, okay? But it's a few clips. And I'll just be chiming in here and there with some thoughts and narration about what you're seeing. And again, if you're not a Michael Myers fan, I apologize for this indulgence, but as we said, while it's never been the only thing that we concentrate here on at HDN, it's always been one of the biggest, if not the biggest things. So I felt I knew I wanted to drop something very special and never before seen, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. I toyed with saving it for this Monday, but we'll talk about it again on Monday and watch the finished version. But here we go. We're going to play this now. And again, I'll be right here in the live chat. And for this one, I'll probably make a few comments, especially when it gets really quiet. It's quiet throughout most of it because I didn't even have my mic that I use now, which isn't even a great mic, but I didn't even have that. I didn't even have a crappy mic then. There's no mic. It's just a built-in camera audio. So, anyway, hopefully you guys don't mind any of that. All right, so here we go. Check this out, guys. This is some never-before-seen footage from the convention floor at the Halloween H40 40 Years of Terror movie franchise reunion event in October of 2018 in South Pasadena, California, where John Carpenter's original 1978 masterpiece was filmed. Check it out. Now, that, as you saw there, actually, I'm going to pause it here because I'm going to give you guys the commentary track. Okay, I mean, we don't have a very big audience right now. It's mostly channel members and loyal viewers. So let's just go back here for just a second. This was right outside in the kind of foyer area of the convention center, the opening hallway. You know, you got the nice banner here for your pictures. And then they had this cool standee, which was at a few theaters, I understand, in 2018, but we probably would have never been around one had it not been for this. And so here I am. I got to check it out. You open the door. It lights up. Recreates the scene with Vicky. And the music starts playing. Now here, like I said, this is James Jude Courtney's first ever convention appearance. And we were there. He was like literally just getting to his table. And like I said, I had talked to him months earlier at this point. So there was a bit of foundation already laid that, yeah, we were going to hopefully connect at this event. And we did. And it was great meeting him in person right away. And he's right there next to Rian's table. And so here you go, some exclusive footage. And this moment we did publish on the channel right away. Because this is one of those magic moments that we love to capture when we attend events in person. And it's hard to describe what it's like to be standing there when this happens. But this is literally Nick Castle running over from his table to shake hands and give a big hug to James Dew Courtney and essentially welcome him. Metaphorically, on a larger scale, you could say to the Halloween franchise, but, you know, he's also quite literally welcoming him to this convention, to this reunion, to this franchise event, and to the convention scene in general, to life as being Michael Myers, one of the men who has played the Shape. And it's just a really amazing moment that I just couldn't believe I got it recorded here. And you'll see there's Ryan Turek comes up, gets his hug. Turek realizes he's on the camera, kind of gets out the way. And now we'll move through, and you'll see just some random highlights. Again, this is fairly raw footage. I apologize for it not being more steady, but this has never been seen before tonight. This is exclusive footage. Sandy Johnson, she was another one making her very first ever convention appearance at this event in 2018. She kind of dropped out of sight for a lot of fans for many years, and then there was a search for her to find her for this event, and they succeeded and found her. And now, as you may or may not know, she is absolutely a staple, as is James, on the convention scene, out meeting fans very regularly, almost every weekend of every month of the year. But David says there he is in line. Yes, sir. Of course you are. Actually, when I was editing this, I do think I saw you, man. That's so awesome. Now, here is the great Dean Cundy. I mentioned him earlier. Dean is another one of my favorite interviews that we did, and I did the interview. We met him here at this event in South Pasadena, and we did the interview right there at the convention center. After it was over, though, we did it on Sunday. After the convention had cleared out, we sat there in the lobby for like an hour to an hour and a half and talked and talked and talked. And funny little note, there's Sue over there taking some pictures with her camera. Funny note, when Sue and I were eating our dinner there, there's the great Charles Cyphers. All the luminaries were there at this event. Who showed up and just showed up at our table while we were eating dinner at a local Pasadena restaurant later that evening, that Sunday evening. But Dean and his wife, Tisha, they had been eating nearby. Sue had Tisha's text number. They hit it off while I was interviewing Dean forever, and they're over there just chatting themselves, doing their own personal interview, I guess. And that was pretty cool. So they kind of came by to say hi, which was, again, just one of the many surreal experiences that happened at this event. Yes, David, and some of our other viewers probably will see yourselves here. And so many luminaries, not just from this franchise, but from the world of horror and just the world of film in general.
What's your number?
818.
818.
Just a little taste of some of the artwork that you would see at this event. Great Rick Rosenthal and his wife, Nancy Stevens, of course. I love these two. These guys became our thumbnail cover shot for our photo gallery. And, of course, the great Dick Warlock, our buddy. Naturally, he had the longest line of, I think, anybody that weekend. There's George Wilbur with Tom Morga, the two men who played Michael Myers in Halloween 4 together. Had to capture that moment. And again, just some more of the luminaries that were there for this landmark event. John Michael Graham, who plays Bob in the original 78 film. David has spotted himself yet again in Adrienne Barbeau's line. Amazing. That's so cool. There's Nick again. And again, we captured many memorable moments from this event, not just that Nick Castle and James moment. There was another great moment during the Halloween 2018 panel, which David Gordon Green and Malik Akkad were both at, by the way. Now this here, I've got to say, I got to pause it here because I actually bought this mask, this very mask here. This Halloween 2 mask is so badass. I bought it at this event, and it hangs in our living room and has ever since, and I love it. It is so badass. Where was I? What was I saying before that? Forgot what I was saying. If y'all remember, tell me, and I'll try to finish that thought. But other moments. Yeah, there was another moment in the 2018 panel when Nick actually crashed the panel and surprised everybody, and it was pretty awesome. And again, kind of giving his blessing in an even more public way in front of an even bigger audience to James right there, and we captured it all. You can find it elsewhere on the channel. And there was another amazing moment at the Halloween 2 panel that year when a gentleman proposed to his girlfriend, proposed marriage. Of course, she said yes. They got Myers tattoos and everything. We got that moment recorded as well, thanks to a heads up from the Warlocks. So, capturing magic moments, that's what we do. That's part of what we love at these events, not just because we love this franchise, because we love these type people that loves this genre and that lives and breathes Halloween every day. And here's one last little kind of walk down one of the celebrity hallways here. David says, awesome mask. Yeah, that H2 mask is badass. Y'all remind me, I'll bring it in on one of these future Michael Myers Monday live streams and feature it for you guys, but it's nice. It's nice. Yeah, so there you go. So right there, some never before seen footage. More never before seen footage for you guys here tonight for our special 10th anniversary special. All right. I think that about does it for this evening. I hope you enjoyed our mask unboxing and showcase video and review. I look forward to hearing more of your comments and thoughts. Again, I am very happy with it, so I can't wait to hear what you think. Also, if you want to read or watch any of the interviews that I have discussed here tonight, and many more, because that's literally just the tip of the iceberg. You can find all of them anytime at HalloweenDailyNews.com, and many of them, the video interviews at least, you can find here, of course, on the channel. And as far as the future, that's when you got to subscribe. That's why you got to turn on the notifications and like this video if you don't mind. But so you don't miss any of our upcoming interviews, because we do have some exciting stuff we're lining up here just in the next few weeks, because this is our time, you know, and there's a lot going on. We're super busy, but we got some fun stuff coming up. Speaking of which, the next few things you're going to see in the next few days here, as far as exclusives here on the channel, we've got tons of footage, tons more, I should say, from Haunted Screams Expo. We just published our costume contest photo gallery from Mad Monster Expo on our website, HalloweenDailyNews.com. And just yesterday evening, we published just some highlights from the Monsters panel at Haunted Screams with Butch Patrick, the original Eddie Monster, and Daniel Roebuck, who plays the Count, the future Grandpa Monster, in Rob Zombie's new movie. A lot of fun to see them interact and talk about both classic and new monsters. Check that out if you haven't already. Look for lots more from that event coming very soon, including makeup contest, exclusive content from the contest contest and interviews with the winner. Same with the Haunted Screams costume contest and some other exciting interviews from there. And again, that's just from Haunted Screams. Lots of cool, exciting stuff coming here. If you're a Michael Myers fan, obviously you should know by now, but join us every Monday night for Michael Myers Monday Live. We start it at 10:31 p.m. Eastern. Regular viewers know that number is just an approximation. I'm usually running a few minutes late, but don't get too antsy. You know, just gives everybody time to take a piss and settle in and get a beverage and whatever, you know. But the official start time is always 10:31 p.m. Eastern every Monday here on the HDN channel. And finally, again, I mean, it's been 10 years. It's crazy, guys. It's amazing. You know, this is started as just an experiment, a hobby, if you will, you know, just kind of not really knowing where it would go. And it's not that it's, you know, it's not that it's a big money-making thing, because it's not. Believe me, it's not. It's a work of passion. We don't make much at all at this, and certainly not enough for it to be the only thing we do. You know, we, like most of you, we have other jobs. We have other day jobs and night jobs and afternoon jobs and evening jobs and all kinds of jobs. So, like most of you, you know, to make ends meet, we got to do what we got to do. But it is a work of passion, and it means a lot that you guys are here, both here on the channel, if you're watching live, and if you're not watching live and watching a replay, that means everything too. So we appreciate it. And if you follow us on other mediums, other platforms, we appreciate all that too. Because we wouldn't be here without you guys. Again, I got to thank Sue and Oziah and everybody that helped and motivated me, none more than those guys, to carry on with this for 10 years now, for a decade. And beyond that, though, you know, I got to thank you guys first and foremost, the audience, the viewers, our friends. I don't like saying fans or just, you know, customers or anything like that. You know, we're friends. That's what I like, because I don't have a lot of friends, honestly. I say this all the time on other live streams. I don't have a lot of friends out there in the real world. So when we go to events like that H40 or H45 next year, or, you know, Mad Monster Party in February, or Haunted Screams like we were just at last weekend, you know, that's a big deal for us, connecting with you guys out there, because we don't do that with just anybody, just anywhere. So that's a big deal. And you guys being here tonight to mark this occasion with me, that's a huge deal. So I cannot thank you all enough. And again, if you enjoyed it all, anything you saw here, think about subscribing. And if you're already a subscriber, consider becoming a channel member. It's only $5 a month. You get a lot of videos, early access to a lot of videos before they go public. You get to use cool custom emojis and badges in the live chat and in the comments, and there's a few other perks. Just hit the join button if you want to learn more. No pressure. If not, it's not going to change anything that we do here for free. We plan to continue doing all of that and more. That's right, and more. That's right. When Halloween ends, comes and goes, we'll still be talking about Michael Myers every Monday and beyond. You know, when Halloween 2022, October 31st, 2022 comes and goes, we'll still be here on November 1st talking about next Halloween, because that's what we do. Because every day is Halloween here at Halloween Daily News. And if you're here with us, then you're one of us and you're a part of it. So thank you for that. All right, guys, it's getting late. It's been almost 2 hours. This has been amazing. You guys have been awesome. I see Keith saying he's awesome. Yes. David seeing himself in line. That's amazing. Darlene saying happy anniversary. I love it. Keith says, great channel, love HDN. Thank you so much, man. Love all the appreciation. David says, congrats. Thank you. I love it, man. Patrick says, I will like this. My co-host on my Halloween Collectors podcast is getting married on November 11th by Tony Moran in full costume. He's an ordained minister. Dave Ferret will be there too. Wow. Capture footage, man. And hey, do they need a photographer? You know, that's one of our other many jobs. You know, I'm a photographer. I shoot weddings all the time, man. You know, where's it at? You know, they have to fly us out there or put us up anyway. But anyway, anyway, share footage. And seriously though, if they want a photographer, you know, they might get featured on Halloween Daily News. They'd definitely be featured on a future Michael Myers Monday live show. I'm sure of that. Just throwing it out there. Anyway, that's awesome. That's awesome. And we'll talk later about the other stuff you were talking about. But that is awesome. And congrats to them, right? All right, everybody. This has been amazing, as always. Thank you guys for joining me this evening. Subscribe, like, and before you get out of here, if you wouldn't mind, just drop a little comment below. A little jack-o'-lantern is all you got to do. And YouTube isn't really going to know the difference. They're just going to consider that a comment, and that counts for us. So that would be awesome. And like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. And also subscribe directly to the website, HalloweenDailyNews.com. The thing we're celebrating 10 years of tonight. I mean, it all started right around that same time, all the socials. The channel's been around that long too. But the channel has gone through many different iterations. Like, we didn't start doing this type of stuff until, well, 2020. You know, this type of interacting never happened here. But the channel has been around just as long as too. So any of you longtime viewers, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Patrick says it's in San Antonio, but he'll send footage for HDN. Yes, send the footage for HDN. Absolutely. Yeah, can't wait to see it. Sounds good, man. All right. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the well wishes and the congrats and everything. It means everything. Yeah, think about subscribing if you haven't already, and definitely subscribe to the main site if you haven't done that already. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching.